from Cognitive Business Automation. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with Nuno Melo from Nokia. Many thanks for joining me for the interview.
Thank you.
Could you please shortly introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Nuno, and I work on global services, Nokia Global Services, and I'm heading up, in fact, it's a new organization that is called Business Management Digitization, which has a slight different focus from typically what we do in Nokia. Typically we use like AI and RPA mostly for delivery functions, but not for business management functions. So this is what we are trying to do, that we are doing and making the first steps.
How did you start the automation journey at Nokia?
In fact, it started a couple of years ago, where there was a big movement around digital transformation and so on. And at that point in time, I was invited to, within digital transformation, to head up the analytics piece. Then there were different organizational changes, if you want, in Nokia. There's still a big stream in Nokia around automation, but Global Service decided to have a special focus on this area, which is business management, so how we take better decisions, strategic decisions in the company. And this is now my focus.
And today you will host a case study entitled Start Assisting Your Pricing Decisions with AI without Big Data. Learn a successfully proven methodology. Could you please summarize some of the key takeaways of your presentation?
Right. So in fact, it's an interesting thing because especially when people talk about AI and so on, you immediately think about machine learning type of activity technologies, and one of the biggest problems, in fact, that you face is that you don't have big data. So there is a lot of buzz around AI and machine learning, but in fact, for most, I'm convinced that a huge percentage of companies, when it comes to business management decisions like investment decisions, portfolio decisions, deal decisions, they don't have big data. So it's a big challenge, right? So how and this was a big learning from my initial work in digital transformation. So how do you take advantage of these technologies without having big data? So it's an interesting thing that is happening, is that 3 or 4 years ago, people would say that resources, people, human beings are the most valuable asset in a company, and apparently it's not. It's data. So I'm going back to this principle that people is the best asset that you have, and in fact there's a lot of expertise in the company and outside the company. So what I'm trying to do, in fact, it's a similar process that we use in data science. Instead of going to data, I go to people. Instead of using machine learning to create my model fit, I found a different technology. So I'm working with a very distinctive professor on multi-corrected decision making. So I'm using a process, in fact, to mimic cognitive thinking and how people make decisions. So the key principle is that if I'm able to speak with the best people, I don't need big data, and I can implement the best knowledge and scale it up across the company very quickly. So this is the overall idea.
It's great finding.
But I will use machine learning afterwards, right? Because to fine-tune the process. But this is the key idea: is to mimic the best people in a certain area, their decision making into a model that is able to replicate it.
But basically not finding the big data from the numbers and Excel sheets, but actually deriving it directly from the people.
And I even think that is very biased because the best way to predict the future is to make it happen. So if I'm a business leader and I have a strategy, I don't want to rely on past data to define a new future. So what I want to do is to model what the future will be, so that I consistently take decisions according to the strategy I've defined. So I cannot just rely on past events to shape a future. So machine learning will make you the same thing that you did in the past. I want to make something different, so I need to shape a model that is aligned with my strategy.
That sounds revolutionary.
It's like Colombo's type of thinking, right? You cannot implement a strategy using past data. That's it.
How was it in the beginning? Was it easy to find budget for this project?
Very easy. In the beginning, very easy because we had the president of mobile networks and global services fully on board. So yeah, of course, we need to go through a formal process. But then once I have the budget allocated, then I was and it was very reasonable for what we wanted to do. Then it was quite easy. But so you know, companies sometimes they have a more if you change management or so, if there is changes, sometimes the focus go from short or from medium term to short term, or they have different preferences. And so we had a lot of changes afterwards, and now it's coming back again. But it's very difficult to say challenges, no challenges. If you must have management sponsorship because you need capital.
And what were the key factors in your success with the project, with the strategic decision-making projects?
The key factors are, the first one is you need to have management support. The second one, you need to know the problem that you're talking about, because people talk about data, but then what is the problem that you want to fix? And then people are not able to articulate, so what you want to resolve. So the first thing is know your problem. And if you don't know your problem, you can find whatever solution because you'll fix it. You see, or you won't fix it. So that is very. And the third one I would say is you need to, in order to create momentum, you need to deliver results in, I would say, in a factor of 10, very fast.
In a factor of 10.
10. So if you put €1, you should bring 10, very fast. Otherwise, people lose patience. It's very far from them in terms of. It needs to, in my view, you need to show something with high return very fast. So this was my selection criteria when people would come to me to sponsor projects, if the value that would bring would be a factor of 10.
And how about, which topics are you now yourself interested in to talk with the other attendees and speakers here at the conference?
This new field that I'm trying to, I come from the business side, right? So I have the typical, I would say, Nokia profile. So I have an engineering degree. Then if you start to management, you do an MBA, stuff like this. But then I really think that if you want to be a manager that is able to sustain his career for some time, you need to be able to know data, because people talk about data-driven decision making and so on. So what I did was, in fact, to do post-graduation in data science and try to have this new knowledge of business plus data science together, not just use data science for technicalities or technical purpose, but also from a social economics point of view, even emotions, how you put all these quantitative data, qualitative data together to make better business decisions. This is my interest, right? It's not really about if it's machine learning or if it's deep learning or if it's fuzzy logic. It's to use this as a purpose of making better business decisions. This is my interest, and this is what I'm going to try to look after in the meeting.
I hope that you will find many new insights and great other business and use cases of AI and intelligent automation. And I thank you so much for your time, and hope you have a great conference.
Thank you. Thank you very much.